Oh, that was an accident. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Cheese Talk podcast. I'm your host, Brian. Got a new intro, so I was kind of messing around with that. This Saturday evening, the eve before we play the Denver Broncos tomorrow at 3:25 Central Time, I am joined by good friend Chuck Metz. Chuck, what is up?
Hey, good to be talking Wisconsin sports with you, Brian.
Yeah, what are your first before we get to tomorrow's game? What's your reaction to the game last week against the Bears?
Uh, Tale of two halves, but obviously I was excited excited with the victory. I loved how we started off with you know the way our defense played because the Bears have been running all over people and we held them down in that first half, not doing much at all. And we were moving the ball in the first half, and even despite the pick Jordan threw, they didn't score on it. Our defense was showing up, and obviously I was pleased. We got a couple explosive plays, and then in the second half, it looks like the Bears made some good adjustments. So you know what, they have some good coaching now, and but um, the nice thing I liked about it, it was a close game and we held on and we won. Whereas, you can look at the games in Cleveland and Carolina, and Philadelphia, one score games, and we couldn't pull those out. And we were able to do that here. I think I think the Bears are, from what we saw, are a good team, but when we play our best, I think we're better. And
Yeah, there's been a few things that have been really getting the best of me these last, I don't know, 13 weeks of football for the Packers. I'm gonna play a little clip, and I'm just gonna give you a hint, and I'll have you speak on it. Okay?
all right,
I think it is a difficult job, but um, I guess I don't know what holding
can't hear
is
it.
anymore because I thought that was pretty clear and obvious hold, but I guess I don't know what that means.
That was Matt LaFleur at his press conference after the game against the Bears, saying he doesn't know anymore what a hold is because everything that's been happening with Micah Parsons. You've seen the clips of him being bear hugged from behind, choke from the front. Um, like the refs last game, Keyshawn Nixon got choked and he got the flag thrown at him.
Oh, exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
I just, what are your thoughts on like how games have been officiated? Not just with the Packers, you've seen it all
Yeah.
across the league.
Right, right. I watched a ton of games all over, and now actually the last time we talked a couple months ago, I think we'd even talked about this because Micah had mentioned it. And every game, it's no lie, they show two or three times where Micah's getting held, and the fact that it's now week 15 and he hasn't drawn one holding, it's I can't believe it. And like you said, there's a lot of things every week that, seasoned football watchers, you don't have to be a pro to know, hey, that's not
Yeah.
right. These things aren't being called, and it's across the board. And I would like to hear, since it is so across the board, what is there a philosophy they're not telling us, so we're going to cut down on the holding because it takes away the big offensive plays? Or I don't know. It's I don't
Yeah.
understand it. I would like at least a description as saying, okay, this is why this is getting called, and maybe not even put out specific plays, but there's no rhyme or reason why this is happening. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I
The way
thought when Micah went to the press the first time and said he was getting held all the time, that hey, maybe they'd start watching and they would call it, but obviously that isn't the case. And
and you got like a generational player like a Micah Parsons. You know, he's averaged 12 sacks a game for the last what 12 sacks a season for the last first whatever of his career. It's like it'd be like LeBron James in a way. Granted, I don't like LeBron James,
Yeah.
but it's like he's getting like in his prime, he was getting all the calls. I mean,
Right.
all the calls.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Micah Parsons making how many millions dollars? He's like the face of the franchise pretty much right now. I mean, in a way, if you think about it, there's the money he's making, and he's still getting production, but he could have a lot more production
Oh, no doubt.
if the holds were being actually called.
Now at this point, if you're the Denver Broncos coach and you see all this, you got to be telling your guys, just hold them, man. Don't let them get by. You're not going to get the call. You know, at least, and I'm sure that's what they've been doing, and it's been working. And until they get calls, nothing's going to change.
You know what
Really.
they should do is they should if Van Ness is healthy, have him on one side, Gary on the other, and just move Micah around at linebacker.
Yeah.
Have him be like a spy.
Yeah.
You know, have him take the running back out of the backfield. Have him create attention on that line that's going to make guys move to let other holes open up for players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's that. I mean, I moving him up and down the line has seemed to work so far. So hopefully, I'm not sure. I can't remember the status of Van Ness, but I know he's practicing this week. But
Yeah, he is. He's questionable right now. So.
yeah, but I mean, it's just ridiculous the holding calls that aren't being called. You know, it's like some of these refs. It's like they thrive. They thrive in the atmosphere of
Yeah.
not making the right call. They get off on getting booed, and it's
Yeah.
just it's gross. It's
Well, what I'm concerned about is generally they don't call it tighter in the playoffs. If anything, it's probably might be looser. So that's what I'm concerned about.
yeah. And then the tic tac fouls they call against the Packers.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, I'm not just saying the Packers. I'm comparing the Packers because we're talking about the Packers, but it happens all across the league.
Oh, no
You know
doubt.
what I mean? It's just it's crazy. But you're right though. The Bears, I was on Twitter during the game, and a lot of fans are like, "Oh, the Bears are a second half team. They're a second half team," and they showed they came back and
Oh yeah.
they
It,
almost beat the Packers at home.
oh, that would have been really tough to take. But on that last play on that Keyshawn Nixon pick, the Bears had ran that play against the Eagles, and that's pretty much what clinched them the game. They had done that play through to Cole Kmet for a touchdown against the Eagles, and I saw on somebody's tape them showing that same play. And the
Yep.
thing is, um, Caleb didn't throw it soon enough because at one
No.
point he was really open, and
Yep.
because Keyshawn went to cover Cole, he wasn't even on him originally. So,
That he redeemed himself from earlier in the game.
with those,
I'm probably well hard not. I mean, I can be hard on Nixon, but you
hmm
know, I mean, that's what fans do, right? And
yeah,
that interception he had at the end of the game against the Bears immediately drew a flashback against the Eagles in 2010 when Tramon Williams had that pick in the back. I think I
oh
posted
yeah,
that on Twitter, but I mean,
yeah,
same exact location of the end zone, and so it's good to see that the Packers are starting to get turnovers
yeah,
in the later half of the season because I mean they're going to need them in the playoffs, and it's
definitely.
huge. Definitely a momentum changer. One thing that has been apparent the last few games for the Packers is how hard they're hitting on
Oh yeah,
defense. I
nice.
mean, you saw that one play where Edgerrin Cooper, I don't know if his clip from his visor went flying
Oh
or
yeah, yeah.
a chunk of his helmet went flying, but that was absolutely crazy. I'm surprised he wasn't taken off for concussion protocol. I mean,
Oh yeah,
he got right back up. The running back got right back up, but that running back, was held for maybe like a 1 yard loss possibly. But
right, yeah,
um, the Bears that running back for the Bears is good.
yeah.
That I don't even know what his name.
Menange,
Yeah,
yeah,
Menange. He was running the ball pretty good. Um, yeah, it was definitely a game where in the first half I'm like, this we should have been a lot more than what it was. I mean, we were holding the Bears, and we should have had more points, I thought, on the board at
Definitely.
halftime. But um,
Caleb
nothing like
was
a good.
very his escapability is fantastic. Right now, I mean, his was it his completion percentage is like 57, 58, which is, pretty far down the log, but he's not really turning it over except for that last play, and you could see the progression. I think actually getting a good coach has helped him.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Caleb, he is looking better. I think on offense, he's making better decisions. Um, but yeah, it was just crazy to see like how he just roll it out to the side and just get like 10, 15 yard rush.
Oh yeah, that
Um, huge game for Javon Bullard too. He had a huge game. I thought
yeah.
he's coming in his own. He's definitely showing he's a Georgia dog.
Oh,
He's
definitely. He likes to hit people too. Boy,
yep, absolutely. Him, Evan Williams, he's playing. I mean, they're all
Evans
playing
playing.
good.
Hey,
That
he's had a great year all season. He's
that 2024 draft class. What was it? Cooper, Williams, and Bullard.
yeah,
I mean, look what they're doing for the defense.
yeah,
That's huge.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
Christian Watson, since the last time we talked, Christian Watson's been
Hmm.
activated obviously for the last couple of games, and he's making a huge impact. And we got Jaden Reed back. I kind of said
That
um,
that's going to
I,
be
I
huge.
I don't know if I said it to you, but I remember saying a couple of times that he got hurt. Injuries suck all
Yeah.
across the board, but when he got hurt, he
Hmm.
couldn't have gotten hurt at a better time
Yeah.
because he had that Jones fracture. He was able to get his collarbone worked on, his Jones
Yep.
fracture taken care of. Now he's back in the field towards the end of the year. We got Watson back. We got Dubs playing good. We got
Yeah.
Wicks playing good. So I think that's huge for the Packers.
Oh,
Like I
definitely.
said, you don't want to see injuries, but he got hurt at the right time. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And now he's one of the few guys whose body's probably not filled up with getting hit every week. He's a little fresher. Plus, he's got a good rapport with Love. And now we're kind of four deep again. I mean, Watson's playing great, but then you still got Dobbs, you still got Wicks, and so I'm real excited. I mean, granted, we obviously miss Tucker Craft, but I think the fact that we going four deep is going to help us a lot. So
Musgrave is showing decent. He's catch and run, and he's
he
gotten some
is,
yardage in big downs. That
yeah.
one pass that they called incomplete, I'm pretty sure that was a
Oh,
complete pass. That was
yeah,
terrible. You know.
yeah.
But we talked about receivers, but we didn't say much about Matthew Golden. Do you think people are calling him a bust online? Do you think he's a bust, or do you think he's just in the receiver room where it's hard to get out there?
I think until this time next year, I don't even think you can call him a bust.
Right,
I think partly, it's tough for a rookie. He's finding his way in a crowded receiver room. He's got to develop a rapport with the quarterback who's already got people. I mean, he's not super big either. He's a fast, small guy, and I think by next year we'll know for sure. He's obviously got talent. He can run with the ball. He can catch. I'd like to see him get open, but you know I'm wondering if he's open sometimes, but so is someone else who maybe Love feels more comfortable throwing to. I don't know,
right.
but
And add in Savion Williams too. He's
oh
had
yeah,
a decent rookie campaign, I think. He's
definitely.
returning kicks and
Yep, he's got that
some big.
size. You can give him the ball on end arounds or so. No, I think that was they wanted him for the spot, and I think he's fulfilling it real well for a rookie. So
He's tall too.
yeah,
He's a
he's
tall
like
guy.
6'4". He's like
Yeah.
Watson. So yeah,
Yep. Yeah. Watson doesn't look that tall on TV, but he's tall. Kind of like
maybe
McCarthy. McCarthy, he doesn't look that tall on TV, but that guy's like 6'4" or 6'5". He's a big guy.
yeah, yeah, he is. And boy, has he really come back. I knew it would help. It's always good to have, but he's not just going deep now like he might have been those earlier years with those slants. And what a great way to use his speed, just on a crossing pattern over the middle, and no one's going to run with him. And I mean, that great touchdown against the Bears, he caught the ball, and it's, oh yeah, he's back. No one's catching him, and that's
What'd they
great to
clock him
see.
at? 21 miles an hour or something like that?
Yeah,
22? Yeah,
yeah,
it's crazy.
ridiculous.
We're gonna close talking about the Bears game, but not before I show you my favorite part of the game.
Okay.
Here, give me.
There's the handshake, and Matt LaFleur's Packers.
That was awesome. I can't, I enjoy beating Matt LaFleur twice a year, and
Yeah,
that was the handshake that said the big middle finger right to you,
yeah.
Ben
Oh yeah,
Johnson.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Without actually sending it, yeah, we got the message.
oh yeah, it was crazy. It's just, I could go back and get that clip from Ryan Poles. And we're going to take over the North, and we're going to beat the Packers twice a year. And if that's like a main thing that the McCaskies like instill in the coaches is to beat the Packers twice a year, we're
Well,
living rent free. We're living rent free in their head forever.
that went back to Lovey Smith. Lovey Smith said the
Yeah,
same thing when he came in. So
yeah. And we're since '92, we're 52-16 against the Bears.
yeah, that's
So
ridiculous.
anyway, what are your thoughts on so like Rashawn Gary started off hot this year. He's like at
Yeah,
what seven and a half sacks. He's
yep.
kind of disappeared in the last handful of games. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's because Van Ness has been out?
That could be. I think initially he was he was kind of succeeding, for all the attention Micah Parsons was getting, and now that they know they can hold Micah Parsons, and maybe they're starting to shift some of their doubles because you're right. Gary he had more sacks than Parsons at that early portion of the season. He was actually leading the league, I think, after 3 weeks or something, and so it's hard to see something that he's not doing himself. I I just think you're right. He does benefit from Lucas Van Ness and Parsons, and when there's less, because when they go down to single block Gary, that's pretty hard for them to do. So that's when he was winning, when he was getting single blocked, and so
Yeah, when you have three or four guys hold one guy, though, that should free up quite a bit of guys in that line. uh,
definitely.
yeah,
And
just
I, I'm pretty happy with how we're playing against the run, considering we lost Devontae Wyatt, which I think was a big loss because he had been playing pretty well. So I think the linebackers are a big part of that too, and so I'm pretty
yeah,
happy.
linebackers. Adrian Cooper is playing with his hair on fire.
Man, that was a fantastic pick. I would have been happy with that pick in the first round, but we got it. We were able to get him in the second round. That was fantastic. Yeah. I mean, you could tell he's smart, but he's just so fast and he's strong and, he's the whole package. And it's not something we haven't had in a linebacker in a long time. So
Do you think the Packers will end up re-signing Quay Walker?
I, th- I think they will. I, th- and I know a lot of people are saying, well, he misses assignments. Um, but with his speed and Cooper's speed, it's been so effective this year. And think of those good teams that the 49ers had when they had fantastic linebacking groups, and I think it's just also maybe one thing that might come into fact. I think Heffley likes him, but I think if Heffley ends up moving and we get a different defensive coordinator, that might play into it.
Yeah,
For style, with the what the defensive coordinator wants out of their players. So
Yeah, that'd be a huge blow to lose either Cooper or Walker. But you know what they say, next man up, and you never know. You get somebody in there that maybe isn't highly sought after, you might make a difference. You know, you never know. So,
yeah,
um, I, I,
I'd
I
like to
think,
keep him. Actually, I think McDuffie's playing pretty well this year. He's getting a good amount of time because Quay was out for a while. So I'm happy to see that as well. So
yeah, another player that's playing good and kind of going on the radar is Romeo Dobbs.
yeah,
He's had a game or two where he's had some drops, but for the most part, he's been a pretty productive receiver for the Packers, which makes it even harder to try to picture a receiving core in the next couple of years because you have so many guys that could be in that top 4 or 5, you
yeah.
know, those 4 or 5 roster spots that, and I still don't know if I'm sold on who I want to be. I still think, honestly, I've been saying for a while, if Watson's healthy, he could definitely, he's definitely, I think, number one material.
Oh,
Then you
definitely.
got then you got to go with like a Romeo Dobbs, Jaden Reed, and
Hmm.
then Golden, and from there it's just, are you gonna be able to afford Wicks? Are you gonna be able to afford the other
I
guys?
honestly think Wicks is the one who's gone.
Yeah. But I still wouldn't complain though if we had Dobbs, Watson, and Reed and
Oh no,
Golden.
that'd be
Nothing
great.
but speed and hands.
Yep, and Golden
So,
will be there because he's a rookie. So yeah.
and Williams, he'll be there
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well. So
So
yeah,
I like the
Wicks.
fact we're still the youngest team and we're the one of the highest seeds. We're the second seed in the NFC. So I think that's pretty impressive. Still
Yeah,
continue on that youth movement, but we're throwing in good players in that young mix. So I think that's
yeah. What do you
important.
think of? I mean, the play of Wicks. His game on Thanksgiving was huge.
Oh
Between him
yeah.
and Watson, they're the whole reason why we won that game.
Oh, no
You know.
doubt.
um,
And
yeah,
I think that's why the Packers are tough to defend because we've had games where Wicks hasn't done much or others haven't done much, and then I think we're a kind of a matchup team and which ones we can exploit. And I'm just impressed with Jordan Love this year. I mean, obviously we've had those games where teams like Carolina, the Eagles, and Cleveland haven't had to blitz, and they've gotten pressure on us, and our offensive line, wasn't. But outside of that, I mean, uh, Jordan Love is ranked first in PFF ranking against the blitz among all quarterbacks in the league, which is really impressive. And so, he's first against man-to-man defense, and he's fourth against the zone. So, just last year, early in 2024, he was ranked like 24th. He had a PFF grade of 90 against or 50 against the blitz, and now it's like 90.5. So you gotta tip your hat to Jordan there. He's really kind of picked up his game there, and where it matters, and so
he's reading the field faster too. You know,
definitely, yeah,
um, it's huge too, and um, I go back and I always go back and forth with like Valentine and Keyshawn Nixon, and I always have a theory to where if your defense can get to the quarterback within that 2.8 second window, you're
yeah.
going to have cornerbacks that look like they're all pros.
Hmm.
If it's anything after that, you're going to be giving up big gains, and
Right.
you know, I mean, do you blame the cornerbacks for the kind of lackluster play, or do you blame the line for not getting penetration? And you can go both
Sure.
ways. It's a game any given Sunday, and it's just
Yeah.
it's
I kind of
it's
blame
hard.
Gutenkist for this myself. I think Goody should have done a better job of getting depth on our cornerbacks when he knew we were thin to begin with. And then we got Nate Hobbs, which sounded good, and he's been hurt a lot, and I haven't really seen the return yet in Hobbs. I mean, I think he still can, but um, So yeah, you're right. You know, Micah and Rashawn Gary and the good pass rush makes them look better. You know, they don't have to cover for 5 seconds. You know, which hardly any corner can. So yeah, I just think regardless of what happens this year, we gotta increase the depth and get better player. In I the safety uh is great. Safeties are great. We just got to get better corners, I think.
Yeah, that's one thing I definitely would focus on in a draft is possibly getting at least one decent corner if you can.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Hobbs, you heard all the talk about him in training camp. They had to tell him to scale back because he was hurting
Yeah.
teammates, and you're
Mm-hmm.
thinking, oh my God, this guy's going to be amazing in the regular season. He's been hurt.
Yeah.
He's been hurt, and then if he's out there, he's getting kind of torched. So it's um, but yeah, hopefully the Packers can address that. Maybe they can land a big free agent that wants to
Mm-hmm.
come play with the defense, with the young defense. Maybe they'll look at that as like a springboard to the next big payday. So
Yeah.
I mean, who
Maybe
knows?
use that. I mean, granted, we don't have a first round draft pick this year, because of Micah, but we'll, a second round, quality player would be great or a cornerback. So hopefully we'll
Yeah,
get something like that.
maybe you could trade like a Rashawn Gary in the offseason and get a first round draft pick or something.
Yeah.
Oops. Did I say that out loud? Oops.
Yeah, whoops. Yeah, I'm sure Rashawn heard it. His ears are ringing now.
Yeah, yeah. He's gonna hunt me down, right?
Yeah.
Um, uh, how do you think, or what do you think of how Josh Jacobs is doing? I think he's running the ball. He had that one play against Chicago where, like, you thought he stopped behind the line,
Oh,
and he
yeah.
made that
That
cut.
big
Then he
third
got like,
down.
yeah, that was huge,
Oh,
huge.
yeah. Not only did he just get the first down, he breaks it through three guys for 21 yards. That was a huge play. And because otherwise, are we kicking a field goal? Are we, that that was a game changer. It's so I was Now, some people look and say, "Oh, Josh Jacobs hasn't had a 100-yard game all season," and which is true, but he's been good around. He's been able to get in the end zone, and I don't
Yep.
think we always need him to get 100 yards. I think a lot of times when we get the lead, we want to pound it a little more and control the clock, but and then fortunately, Emmanuel Wilson has been doing well when but I'm a little worried about this week because they're saying Josh might not play. Manuel Wilson's got an illness. There's rumors he may not play, and I think he probably will if it's just an illness. But and then our hope Marshawn Lloyd gets off the injured list, and then he hurts his hamstring again. Oh, poor
Man,
guy.
I had such high hopes for that guy too, and it's just
I
like
know.
the guy just can't stay healthy.
Yeah, poor
He's
guy.
such a freak athlete that he just keeps on getting hurt.
Yeah, yeah.
um, but
That's
yeah,
unfortunate. So.
Josh Jacobs. So he's averaging 4 yards a carry. He's got 817 yards, 12 touchdowns, 31 31 receptions.
Yeah.
Wow, so that's decent. I mean,
Oh yeah.
um,
Yeah. There's nothing.
he's a grinder. He's grinding. He's grinding the ball. He's taking big hits. He's giving up big hits. He's wearing the defense down. And just when they sleep on him is when he takes off. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh,
So it's
exactly. He's doing what
yeah.
we need. We need him to do. I mean, yeah, it'd be nice if he got a few more yards sometimes, but obviously it's not keeping us from winning. So, I, he's getting the ball in the end zone in the catches and making the first downs. That's what we need him to do, and he's doing that. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Does he have any fumbles this year? Do you know? I don't think he does.
I don't think he does either. I'd
I
have
know he
to
did.
look that up, but so.
Yeah, but yeah, he's running the ball good, and even like Emmanuel Wilson when he comes in, he runs the ball good.
Mhm.
Um, it's kind of like poetic justice here. If Josh Jacobs can't go tomorrow against the Broncos and Wilson can, then the Broncos like cut Wilson
Yeah.
or whatever. So I mean, It'd be kind of cool to see Wilson have a breakout. I mean, well, not a breakout game because we know how good he can be. But it'd
Right,
be nice to
right.
see him have a revenge game against the Broncos.
Well, yeah. Well, there's been it's here around the league. There's been a lot of great revenge games. Why not? Why not tomorrow?
Yeah, Jacobs has 2 fumbles this year.
Okay.
So
How many
yeah,
carries? 200 or something like that?
200 like 200, 206. So it's like every 103 carries he has a fumble. Which if I was a running back in the NFL, I think 1 out of every 3 carries I have would be, and two out of every 3 carries I have would be a fumble.
Yeah.
I, I'd be so worried about hanging on to that ball, and I wouldn't even be like thinking about getting yardage. Just
Well,
don't fumble, Brian, don't fumble, don't fumble.
yeah, yeah. Well,
um,
I remember at Madison, Melvin Gordon, he fumbled once, well, a couple times, and coach made him carry the ball to class with him. So my daughter saw him walking, across the campus, going to class, and he's holding the ball. The coach said you can't let that ball go, and so he made it, kind of gave him a lesson to.
did she punch the ball out?
No, God, that would have been so good. No,
Yeah,
she didn't.
yeah. He was a great running back for
Oh, he
Wisconsin. I like
was
Melvin Gordon. Yeah,
definitely.
he had a good NFL career too.
Yeah, he
Too bad
did.
it wasn't in Green Bay.
Definitely.
um, how do you think Brinson and Stackhouse will do with Wyatt's absence? Also, with the addition of the 2 guys we got last week well, from the Giants and from another team, those two. That one guy's like
They're huge.
6'4", 380 pounds, something like that. He's
Mhm.
huge.
Yeah. Now, Brinson, I like Brinson, but he's more. He's been doing good getting pressures. He's not exactly you know, a run stopper type of guy, but I think he can. He's definitely good at getting some pressure. I think Stackhouse will be fine. He's maybe kind of a Devontae Wyatt light, but uh, I don't know. I think it's I'm not overly impressed with Denver's offense. I don't
Yeah,
but probably because Bo Nix, he's fine. He's not great, but they can run the ball. They have a good offensive system, I think. So it's gonna be it's gonna be tough. I think we need to I think we need to score early and get the lead. I think will make it easier for us rather than a shootout. And I'm just kind of worried about Denver's defense. Now, they have the most sacks in the NFL, the Broncos, and so that worries me. Now, granted, we just talked about how Love is the best quarterback against the blitz, and the Broncos blitz about they're the sixth most um, blitzing team, and but I think if we even if they don't blitz as much, I still think we can have a good game against them. I'm just I don't want Jordan to get to the point where he feels he's just got to throw it away all the time. Our offensive line needs to have a good game.
if they're gonna constantly blitz, though, you got to get some of those screen packages set up, little
Right.
dump screens in the middle or off to the side, just to keep them honest. Um, Do you think Matt LaFleur is a play calling genius at times? I know I was asked a question. I was asked by I forgot who it was. I had somebody on, and they asked me if LaFleur should keep his role as an offensive play caller. I was kind of like, we we want him to get it taken away when they play bad, but when they play good, be like, no, he's one of the best play calling coaches in the NFL. What are your thoughts on that, Chuck?
I think you really summed it up well. Because most of the time, I'm pretty happy with how he calls the game. There's some of those games, and I'm just hoping he learns from some of those games where maybe he gets a little too conservative early, or even I would like, those games that are close. We just keep putting he always says all all gas, no brake. but he doesn't always coach like that. And I think I would like to see him coach a little more like that. And I know he likes to run a lot. And I think if he can just start calling stuff that makes our second and third downs more manageable, I think if he learns from that, I really don't want to change from LaFleur. I think he's a good play caller. Yeah, there's times where he kind of drives me nuts, but
Yeah, it's I don't want to say love hate, but it's just like frustration,
yeah.
happiness,
Mm-hmm.
relationship. You know what I mean? It's like I said, when he's calling a good game, we're all like, he's the best ever. And when it's a bad game, whether it's execution or seems like kind of like the offense is kind of lagging out there. Like, come on, get after you guys. Let's go. Let's get them going. Let's get them going. But I also think things really kind of opened up once we got back Christian Watson.
Yeah.
If you look at like before we got Watson back, there was a couple of games where it's like, come on, what are you doing? What are you calling this for? I
Mm-hmm.
was it against the Cowboys? I think it was. Was it like trips left and he sent your running back out into the flat by the three receivers and you ran that play 5 times that game and it's been the same play every single time. That would be the
Mm-hmm.
perfect time to like do like a something to the opposite side of the field.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're 9-3-1. I guess I really can't complain. It's just us, being the armchair GMs and our armchair coaches that we have our own opinions on what we see and yeah, he's a good play calling coach. I think I think he relates to his players pretty good. He seems to have a good relationship with them.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, do you think the Packers lose halfway?
I do.
Yeah. You think
I
we can
think
trade
there's a
him for
lot
draft
of
pick?
teams that are looking for new coaches and or that will be looking for new coaches and I think being that he's had head coaching experience even though it's been in college, I think that will, give some teams some and the way he's turned around our defense and stuff. And granted, we got good players, too. But so yeah, I'm hearing rumors that the Giants are already looking at him. So
Yeah. It's too bad we couldn't have, maybe do like a trade this offseason and get some draft picks for him.
yeah, yeah,
And that's the thing too. Like with everyone's like, talking about the Packers and what they gave up for Parsons. You think about it. I mean, Dallas they started off decent. Well, I mean, whatever, we
hmm
tied them. But I think if we played them again, we probably beat them.
oh,
But
definitely,
Kenny Clark, he went down there and they were playing pretty good. But the Packers, I think, got the best deal or the best end of the trade with Parsons. He hit his 12 sack mark.
yep,
Um, I just halfway, I think he just inspires his team. He last couple of games too. I always say, last couple of games because all the stuff is like the last couple of games we blitzed our fast cornerbacks after the quarterback and got them.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
don't remember seeing that at all the first part of the year. So
and
maybe they're
that's the
saving
nice
some of
thing
this stuff
that.
for later on in the season.
Well, that's what I like about it because the teams they're going to go through the tape. Oh, they're not going to see those corner blitzes, and then boom, you throw them at them. Because you haven't seen it all season, and so that type of stuff's going to be a little more effective than if you do it every week. So that's
Yeah.
what I like about
Ho-
Heffley.
Hopefully we can get a couple of those Micah Parsons bursts through the line and takes out 3 guys with one push like he did against the Vikings.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that was a
That was
great game.
crazy.
Yeah,
All right. All right. What's up, Crash? But yeah, Packers definitely, I think they're definitely going to make the playoffs. You got the Bears fans they're chomping at the bit to raise a NFC North Division champ banner at their new
yeah,
stadium. They can have that banner if they want, but I don't think they're going to get it. I think the Packers are going to win 3 out of the next 4 games and take the North. I think there's always, they got 4 games left. There's always going to be that game that, is the so-called trap game. And I think that might be against the Vikings in Minnesota. For some odd reason, I have a bad feeling.
Yeah. I mean, even though on paper it looks, oh, the Packers should easily beat the Vikings. Anytime it's a division game, they know us, and they have a good defensive coordinator, and they could and yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking though, if we're able to win the first three, we're going to win that one. Um, but my worry game is obviously the Bear game. That's my. I have more confidence in beating the Broncos than I do the Bears right now.
Yeah, the Bears and the Packers. I mean, they just play each other, so it's like a bye week in between. You know what I mean? And it's
And plus their coach, from being in Detroit all those years, knows them probably better than any other first year coach does. So,
yeah.
add that to it.
Have you seen those rumors about Joe Burrow, possibly trying to team up with Jefferson in Minnesota?
Um,
Former college teammates at
I
LSU.
did see that, and that obviously that would be a huge upgrade. But what? How could that? Is he going to be a free agent? I don't think so. I don't
I
know
don't
how
know.
that would happen.
Yeah, they're just gonna be like, let's make it happen, you know. But I was saying before Jefferson re-signed his or signed his contract extension in Minnesota, I could see him going to Cincinnati and
Oh,
being with
sure, sure.
like Jamar Chase, and I mean that's just like LSU all over again, you know. It's Burrow and Jefferson and Chase, and then you got T Higgins, and it's just that'd have been
Yeah.
a crazy receiving core. But they all want too
Oh,
much. They all want all this money, and
oh
it,
yeah. With the salary cap, and well, I guess the way they've been able to do it is not pay any defensive players, and and it shows in Cincinnati. So,
well, and look, everyone was so like the Packers and everybody wanted big talk about Trey Hendrickson this last offseason. Isn't he out for the rest of the year
yeah.
with like
Well,
an
he's
injury? So
he's
I
hurt
mean,
right now. I don't know if it's the whole year, but
yeah,
they're
but
not making
still,
the
you know,
playoffs anyway, so it doesn't matter.
what's
Yeah,
nice about Micah is he hasn't missed a game.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's definitely worth the risk to get Micah Parsons. I think it's
yeah.
who what I was trying to say earlier, and I lost track, but now I remember again. So people are saying about against Parsons and what we gave up, Kenny Clark and 2 first-round draft picks. When did the Packers ever draft in the top 10, top 15 to get an actual impactful draft pick? We're always
No,
getting all of our good guys like in the rounds 2 through 7. So I mean,
was
that
AJ Hawk the last one we probably picked up that high? That's the last
yeah.
Packer.
And then we did. I mean, we did have. Well, I mean, Raji and Matthews in the mid
Right.
or in the 20s,
Yeah.
but we haven't really had a high like top 10 draft pick in how long, you
No.
know?
Yeah.
And that's the thing too is, you got these Bear fans that are going around saying, no, we got a really good young team. Well, how many first round high picks do you guys have? You guys have been treacherous the last how many years?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I would hope we'd have a good team. Look at all the high picks you guys are getting. You
Oh
know?
yeah. Oh, but some of them worked out. Like they picked Mitch Trubisky when Patrick Mahomes was on the board. But yeah, yeah, they're good at picking.
Yeah. What did they give up for Khalil Mack too? They gave up a lot to get
Oh
him.
yeah.
They gave up a lot to get Jay Cutler.
Mm.
So I mean, I mean, you think back to like I remember like the Bears when they had like Urlacher and Lance Briggs and
Oh
Peanut
yeah.
Tillman, and they had a good team, and they got to the Super Bowl in what 2004 or something like that,
Yeah.
2005
They lost to the
against the Colts.
Colts. Yeah.
Yeah, but even then, it's
Yeah. They only lost 3 games that year, and 2 of them were to the Packers.
yeah,
They went 13 and
yeah,
3, and they lost 2 to the Packers.
yeah. Trade picks for proven players. That's sometimes that's a good way to go because the player that you're trading for, you've already seen what he can do in the pros. You know what I mean? So,
Mm-hmm.
um, so you get a lot
And
of these high draft picks that that don't pan out and they're out of the league like in 3 or 4 years.
well, personally, I think we do a great job in the second round, and maybe a so-so lately in the first round. So you know, I'm not as worried as I might have been with not having a first round since they're so late anyway. And so I
Yeah,
I I think it was
The
definitely
Packers are
worth
good
it.
at getting players and putting them in the right spot to have them be successful. That's how the Packers are. I mean,
Hmm.
how have they been able to have three quarterbacks in 30 plus years? Pretty much. You know, should I say dominate the North except for maybe a couple of years? You know,
Yeah.
so um, you got the Bears fans that are they're saying, well, Love's in his third year and Caleb's in his second year, and Love's been in the league for whatever. He sat behind Brett Favre and or Aaron Rodgers and learned and everything, and they're just it's just crazy to hear the Bears fans. I mean, I get they're excited about Caleb Williams, but he really hasn't proven anything yet. So
No, no. I mean, he's getting better, but getting better isn't going to win you anything, So,
yeah, but all right. Well, so you think the Packers win tomorrow, then, Chuck?
excuse me?
Do you think the Packers win tomorrow?
I do. I think it's a close game. I think it's like a 23-20 game. Um, so I just think we're gonna get first downs. We're gonna control the clock. We're gonna get a big play or two um, from either Watson or excuse me, Watson or Dobbs, and I think we can control it. My only thing is as long as the offensive line can give him some time, Jordan Love.
Yeah, that'll be huge.
Yeah.
Definitely, I think the Packers win too. I think it's going to be close. Probably like a 7 point game, eight point game, somewhere below 10. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think the Packers are going to finish strong. They're all, except for Devontae Wyatt, they're all getting healthy at the right time. I
Yeah.
think you keep Jordan Love, you keep your quarterback upright. He can throw the ball. Just keep doing what you're doing because it's working.
Yeah.
Um, let's do a quick switch to Badger football.
Okay.
Um, my thought on what's going on in Madison is um, I think obviously I've made my opinion on the NIL and all that clear. I think it's a good thing. I think there needs to be a cap. I
Hmm.
think there also needs to be better regulations. I
Oh,
think
definitely.
students should have to sign or kids should have to sign. I mean, I feel bad saying kids should have to sign. Well, they're kids still. They're not quite 18. Well, some of them are 18, but
Yeah.
there should be like a length of contract. Like you come
Right.
play, and you got there's you got kids that want to come and get the quick payday. They want to get that starting spot right away. They don't want to put in the time and the effort to be
Hmm.
impactful. Um, they come in as a 4-star athlete, and they sit the bench for a couple of years, and they've been told their whole life they're amazing, and they feel like they should be starting and making a difference, and then they just start hopping schools and they lose. You know, I'd rather see the Badgers lose people that are kind of maybe in that mindset and get people like the Mason Posa who he wants to turn that program around.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. Yeah.
amazing that young freshman linebacker, put in the time, put in the work, and have
Yep.
it pay off in the end. I mean, look at J.J. Watt. He was a 0-star coming out
Yeah.
of or 2-star, whatever it was, coming out of Pewaukee in Wisconsin.
Hmm.
Went to Central Michigan, and then he went to Wisconsin, and look what he did. Look what T.J. Watt did. Look what Derek Watt did. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you got. And that was way back before the NIL and stuff. I mean, these guys just want to go and see where they can get paid the most money at, and it's it's frustrating. It's hard to see. It's hard to get excited when a player commits to the Badgers
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
you don't know if he's gonna decommit and go somewhere else. And they had that Amari Latimer. They had him locked up,
Yeah.
the running back, and last second he didn't sign the letter of intent, and you knew, he went
Yeah.
to the highest bidder. I mean, it's just
Who did he end
I
up going to? Was it
West Virginia,
West
West
Virginia?
Virginia.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the whole process?
Um, what I would like that might make it at least easier and for fair for the teams is you got to lock these periods down. You can't have this open during the season and then you get rumors of coaches going to other places during the middle of the season. I would like that for the players and the coaches. It's like, okay, season's over. Now the portal opens. I don't want any of because all we hear all stinking season is this guy's train. That's number one. Number two, um, if you're gonna sign an NIL agreement and it's 2 years and the kid only wants one, then you change it. Well, then don't sign that contract. Sign a one. And say, hey, if you only sign one, you're going to get X amount. You sign two, you're going to get more, and you got to hold them to it. And if not, you can do it like coaches do. The kid can buy it out. Then give him so he
Yeah.
still has flexibility. But say also that's real life. Contracts are once they're playing, they're 18, they're legal adults, and you have contracts in the real world. And if you're getting paid for something, you have to follow that. I don't think there's anything wrong with holding those kids. If they're you know um, if they're good enough to earn the money, they're good enough to follow the contract.
Yeah, and
So
that's kind of thing I think was happening with Xavier Lucas from a couple of years ago, and
yes,
the and the tampering.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure that he did sign an NIL contract for 2 years after his first year. He wanted out,
hmm
and Badgers wouldn't grant him a release. He left anyway. He just went to Miami. It's you
yeah.
know, but it sucks. But you get kids like that they see the Badgers had a they came back in the second half of the season and they kind of proved some of us wrong. They had a good finish, I think.
Yeah.
And people got to look at their opponents they had this last year too. They had probably one of the toughest schedules out there.
Oh yeah,
Always top 25 teams that they played against. I think next year is going to be different. Like I said, get a group of kids that wanna revive a sinking ship,
yeah.
and make the program proud again. There some of those kids are better to have on your team than kids that are going to jump schools all the time. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
When,
yeah.
when things get bad, they just run away and they don't want to try to fix what's broken. You can't build a program like that.
Right, right.
It's tough to see, but kids they're so looking at the money situation, and
Well,
that's
that's yeah.
that,
It's kind of like you're losing the loyalty thing, whereas you get a Wisconsin kid in there who's loved the university since he was 5 years old, and now it's. I mean, I think it's fair that these kids should, make money off their likeness and things. Don't get me wrong, but
right.
it has changed the game, and I think it's real beneficial to the big schools with the big budgets, and everyone else is taking a hit. So
Yeah, and it's kind of cool to see like all these former Badgers online voicing their opinions. Go
hmm
up to the Northwoods and get some of these big hogs. And I mean, what happened to the days of having like a 6'8", 6'9", 390-pound lineman?
yeah,
The
yeah,
it's just try to be more in state, but then you got kids that are in state that are from out in the middle of nowhere, and they see $1.5 million contract. They're out of state. See ya. You know,
mhm.
they'll be at your school the next day signing their letter, and it's I really hope that we do get a decent quarterback in the portal. I think that's what it's going to come down to. I hope we keep Dylan Jones and I can't think of the other kid, but they're both hard runners. They're physical. You just gotta get kids that believe in and don't
Yeah.
wanna
Well, the
give up
line
because
blocked a
things get
little
hard.
better in the second half of the season. In the first half of the season, I don't think the line was doing a good job, and it showed. So
Yeah, and we got to get a quarterback that can throw the ball, that has an arm. You know, I'm afraid we're gonna lose Eugene Hilton. I don't want to lose him. He's a good receiver. Whenever I think of him, I think of that play where the running back had that long run where Hilton was playing the pass the whole time,
that was
and
fantastic.
yeah, and he faked out that cornerback big time. But yeah, I just think Wisconsin needs to kind of just try to keep those players as much as possible. But yeah, let me see here. Looks like we lost Chuck. Chuck. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up for tonight's episode. I want to thank you, Chuck, for joining the podcast, and we'll be in touch to get you back on another show, and hopefully we can be talking about a successful Packers win after tomorrow. And yeah, go Pack, go.